Hi, teachers. I'm Victoria Carlton. I'm a teacher. I make products for teachers, and I also do a lot of training for teachers as well. So I'm a pretty passionate educator. And I work mainly in the literacy area, but also I stray into mathematics as well. And this is just a series of quick tips about helping all kids to love maths. And this is the third one. All right. I call it HOME, just standing for hands-on maths education. So these videos are for teachers and children as well. So the last one that I shared was all about classification and games and trying to make all the mathematical processes really relevant for children. And this one starts off with talking about art and how we can use art a lot with our maths programs. So even folding a piece of paper, when you take a piece of paper and you fold it over, you're taking the top corners down to the bottom corners, and the children can talk about what angles those corners are. They can talk about the straight lines. There's so much that goes on in maths education. So whenever I'm doing art with kids, which is often because I teach a lot of very, very visual learners, I make sure that I weave our maths into that. I talk about the angles that we're using. I talk about the right angles that we're using, the vertical lines, the diagonals, all of those sorts of things. So it's an interesting, relevant way to actually deepen our understanding of maths. So geometry, I think, is such an important area of maths. And of course, we can use that a lot in the art that we actually teach. We can also use it in just observations of the buildings around us, looking at the ceilings, looking at the buildings and the rooms. Why have we got so many right angles? All right. Why do we have a lot of 90-degree angles in our houses, in our buildings? Getting the kids to discuss that and using as many different hands-on materials as we can to help them to understand. So I've got loads of different hands-on materials that kids use. Things like this where kids can take the different pieces apart and they can build them, put them back together. They can perhaps make something to do with the book that they've been reading as well. So we're linking maths and language as well. And at the moment, my current love is these wonderful magnetic shapes. The kids love these, and they make all sorts of different buildings and whatnot. So, you've got all the different shapes quite cheaply that you can purchase. I actually purchased these at Kmart very cheaply, and they are great for really helping kids to understand geometry. I've also got some little shapes, some little beanbag shapes that we can throw to each other as well. So definitely hands-on is the best way to help kids to really understand geometry, and not just with young kids, with older kids as well. So get them to look for shapes in nature, shapes in the food that we're cutting up, shapes in buildings, right? And use what we've actually got around us to make it relevant. This term, I'm trying to concentrate quite a lot on origami maths. Now, I am really bad at this. This is something that is really going to challenge me a lot, but I've been sort of looking through Teachers Pay Teachers and looking through the maths books that I own and looking for different ways to teach origami and looking for the very simplest of shapes to get started off with. Like for instance, I know that there's a whale that I can make, and there are a couple of bookmarks that I can make. But the thing about origami, kids really love it. They get a sense of accomplishment, same as I do, if I can actually make something that works. All right. And basically, they can learn about every single angle, every shape. There is so much to learn when we use origami shapes. And the paper is not expensive, and you can get the paper in all different sizes. And you can get all different patterns on the paper now as well. So Origami maths is really a fantastic way to actually teach kids about mathematics, a really fantastic way. And just to finish off with, one of my favorite ways to actually revise mathematics and mathematical shapes as well is to actually use our bodies. So I use these to help the kids to revise the letter shapes. So any kid that's really struggling with letters and letter shapes, I get them to get together in ones, twos, and threes to make the letter shapes. And we also make the number shapes as well using our bodies. Because once you've used your body to make something, you're very unlikely to forget it. So we can stand up straight, we can lay down, we can be horizontal, so we can use our bodies to make rectangles, to make triangles, to make parallel lines as well. And it really helps to cement that understanding. So thanks for listening. I'm going to do the last one. I'm going to do number D, or letter D rather, tomorrow, and that will be the end of my tips about teaching mathematics, home mathematics. Okay. Thanks and have a fantastic day. Bye.
For more of Victoria Carlton's tips, go to YouTube and search Victoria Carlton Programs. Victoria's products are available on Teachers Pay Teachers. They cover literacy, emotional intelligence, and Sunday school lessons. Victoria's website address, blog, and email address are on the screen in front of you. Victoria Carlton reserves the right of copyright on all her products.